Hi everybody, welcome to the trending stream here on the World Wide Web. Please subscribe and click and hit that bell to get the latest video notifications. In other words, whenever I make a brand new video, you should be notified. And you definitely don't want to miss the trending streams that I post here. I try to connect the dots for everybody. And today's going to be a powerful video. As everybody knows, I've been covering the Gabby Petito story and the crazy turnarounds and all the just the craziness of the whole story. I believe it's all a distraction. But we're going to cover it here today. And we're going to go live. We're live right now. Where now the coroner, Gabby Petito's coroner, will detail how she was killed today, 3 weeks after he ruled her death a homicide, as manhunt for missing boyfriend Brian Laundrie continues. Again, a Salt Lake City-based investigator, Jason, made a suggestion today. Jensen recently visited in Wyoming site, right, where her remains were discovered. And we know the story and all these things. They had the argument and all this stuff. I have a live feed here of the news, WFLA, so Florida News. Let's see what they're saying right now.
That's not unexpected.
So it's coming.
Of course,
it should be coming at 2:30 right now.
This hashtag AJB, hashtag AJustin will come back here after this.
All right, here it is.
Conference.
Here's the press conference.
In progress.
They're about to unmute. We'll watch for your hashtag AJB, hashtag AJustin comments here, and we'll have your reaction and discuss how this impacts Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie going forward here live on WFLA now after the Teton County.
Again, Gabby Petito's autopsy press conference. We're here. We're live. Let's get to it. All right, we need audio here, though. Let's see what happens, guys. It's very interesting. Again, been covering the story since the beginning, and now we're going to start.
As of right now here, folks, we understand this is Dr. Brent Blue. If you look
Dr. Brent Blue
right there in the bottom left-hand portion of your screen, you will see that mute icon. People who are very Zoom savvy know that he has not unmuted himself here yet. So perhaps waiting just another moment here, but when he and I think he's now going to be muted or unmuting himself here in a moment.
All right, guys.
And you'll see some of the chat come in here as well. It's again just a raw Zoom call, but really, again, we're long listening here.
Hello, thank you all for joining us.
Here we go.
I'm Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner Office is filing the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, no other information will be released about the autopsy. The only thing that is released in the state of Wyoming is cause and manner of death.
I think they said they can't hear you. Just 1 second.
Live right now, guys. How she died. And this is something I said that if this was real and everything, it would be strangulation.
Start over then?
Strangulation, and that's how he's saying she was taken out.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry about the audio issue. I'm Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner's Office is following the following verdict. In the manner of death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito, we find the cause and manner to be cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, only the cause and manner of death are released. Their autopsy findings and photographs and that sort of material is not released by state statute. And I'll be glad to entertain some questions at this time.
So she got strangled.
Hi, Brian. This is Alex with the News and Guide. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm curious whether you're able to pinpoint a date of death and when, and if you know whether or when Gabby's remains will be returned to her family.
The remains have been returned to the mortuary here, and the mortuary is dealing with the family at this time as far as the disposition of the remains. As far as the time of death, we are estimating 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the body was found. That is actually determined more by law enforcement first than than our office.
So she died basically when they found her.
Vivian,
a week or
you
so.
are able to ask your question.
What's the question? I didn't hear a question.
That's like during a Zoom conference or something like that.
Chris, I believe that you are muted. If you can unmute yourself.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's John Walsh from In Pursuit with John Walsh on
John
Discovery
Walsh,
ID.
guys.
Dr. Blue, thank you for your time. I think everybody in the world believes that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby.
Yes.
With your extensive work on the body, are you sure that it's Brian Laundrie? And will the FBI issue a nationwide homicide warrant now that they know the cause of death?
Wow.
We are only tasked with the determination of cause and manner of death. Who committed the homicide is up to law enforcement, and I cannot answer the question about the FBI.
John Walsh should know that. John Walsh should know that. He's just a coroner.
Jeremy Kopis, you are now allowed to ask your question.
Yes, hello, doctor. If you could please, can you comment on any other bruising, maybe on the body that possibly was healing, possibly older bruises or cuts that might have been healing over the last couple of weeks before her passing?
That's a good question.
By Wyoming state statute, no other information about the autopsy is released, just the cause of death.
So they can't say anything else? Come on. That's a BS.
Hi there, this is Heather Lee, reporter at ABC Action News in Tampa, Florida. I just wanted to know if you could explain why it took about a month for this process to finish. I think a lot of people were hoping that they would learn this information sooner. So
Right.
I just think if you could just explain the process and why it took a month.
Yeah, why so long?
Well, the main reason was that we were very exacting in our examination and the detail by which that examination was done. We were waiting for various specialists to come in and help us with this investigation. We were waiting on toxicology to be returned, and it was just a matter of making sure we had everything right.
Thank you.
See what else happens here.
Is there another question?
Brian Enton, I believe you're unmuted right now. Okay.
So now they said she got it. Coming late in the stream,
Fabian?
strangulation. They choked her
Yes,
out.
hi, doctor. How are you? I am curious if any DNA samples were taken from Gabby's remains.
Good question.
Also, if the body was intact, are you able to tell us the condition
Yes,
of
good question.
Gabby's remains?
Good question.
I can tell you the DNA samples were taken by law enforcement, and all I can tell you about remains is that the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow. Pieces, he didn't, again, he's not answering questions. Was it intact? It was the body intact. Why are you skipping questions? Again, it's just like, these press conferences.
Vivian, do you have your hand up?
They hold everything back. Tell what the people asked for.
Was that a question? I didn't hear the question there.
Well, you didn't answer the other question.
Dr. Blue?
Yes.
It's John Walsh again from In Pursuit with John Walsh. You will probably be the most important witness at the trial. And I asked you before how confident you feel that Brian Laundrie, and they use the semantics. He was a person of interest. I'm old school. He was the only suspect ever. And
Right.
I just wonder, you're going to be the most important guy at the trial, probably. Do you have any doubts it's Brian Laundrie?
I can't make any comment.
Can't say that anything on that part.
Suspects, because we're not involved in that part of the investigation.
Well, what are your thoughts?
We're only involved in the investigation of the body of the deceased. So who committed the homicide is really to be determined by law enforcement.
Right, but I thank you for your hard work. And I always say in so many cases I've been involved in, let the pathologist and the coroner do their work no matter how long it takes. So I think you've probably done a really good job on this case. Thank you for your time.
Look at the symbol here. The pyramid, the eye. John Walsh, guys, right? John Walsh.
Hey there, doctor. This is Rochelle Aline with ABC Action News in Tampa. Just a quick question. Can you kind of walk us through the process to how you arrived at this specific manner of death?
In the state of Wyoming, there are 4 possibilities for the manner of death. They are homicide, suicide, accident, and natural. And those are the 4 choices. When we do an investigation, we look at the crime scene or the scene of the death, the scene of the body, the condition of the body, and findings at autopsy and toxicology. And that is how we arrive at the manner of death. So it really depends on lots of different circumstances.
Dr. Stephen Fabian again from Inside Edition. Can you tell us if the body was buried when it was discovered, or if the body was on the surface?
I can't tell you that. That's would be something you'd have to ask the FBI, because we're not allowed to release that information.
They can't say nothing. Why are we watching this? They can't say a dang thing. It says, okay, he was strangulated. Nothing else. What's going on here? Unbelievable.
Kelly Vaughn. Do you have a question, Kelly Vaughn?
It's like they can't answer nothing, right?
We have Brian Enting in the chat who has a question.
Brian
What's
who?
your question, Brian?
Brian Laundrie. No, we don't want him. We want him, but...
Is there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
Good question. Was she eaten by animals?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
All I can really comment about that is that her body was outside in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
So they said not really.
KSL assignment, you are unmuted. KSL assignment.
Oh, Dan Rascone here from KSL TV in Salt Lake. Dr. Blue, can you tell us at all whether or not, was it believed that she was murdered there at that location, or is it any indication that her body was drugged there or taken there, or can you give us any indication there?
That's another good question.
I can't comment on that. That would be something you'd have to speak with law enforcement or the FBI.
Again, can't answer a dang thing. What is going on? What? Why are you even doing this? Just say, okay, they strangled and goodbye. Because he ain't answering nothing.
Sella? Matthew Sella, do you have a question?
Hey, Dr. Blue. It's actually Jimmy from dailymail.com in New York here. What were the results of the toxicology report? And is there any suggestion that Gabby had any drugs in her system? And
Good
so
question.
What were they?
Another good question.
The results of the toxicology are not public knowledge by Wyoming Institute, so
What?
I can't comment about
This
that.
is trash.
Thank you.
terrible. What do you got to thank him for? He answered nothing.
From the chat, was Gabby Petito pregnant?
That's a good question too.
She's not pregnant.
She's gone. Well, he answered one thing, right? She's not pregnant.
Thomas Tope?
Hi, doctor. My question, did you seek the advice of a forensic entomologist or forensic botanist during the course of your investigation?
The FBI has sent materials to a forensic entomologist.
Okay.
WPBF 25 News.
Hi, doctor. This is Terry Parker from WPBF in Palm Beach County, Florida. I'm wondering if you said you were very thorough in this autopsy and examination. Could you give us an example of the type of test and analysis as you performed?
This autopsy included a whole body CAT scan, a examination by a forensic pathologist, an examination by a forensic anthropologist, and toxicology evaluation. So we pretty much covered all the bases.
So full.
Jeremy Kopis.
Yes, doctor, thank you for taking the question again. You mentioned that strangulation is the cause of death. Can you talk about how you came to that conclusion?
I cannot. That is part of the autopsy findings and is not discoverable by Wyoming statute.
Was there any other cause of death that was a possibility in this case?
Good question.
Well, we look at all causes, all possibilities when we try to determine cause of death, but this is the cause of death that we determined.
Strangulation.
I have a question from chat. It is, was the manner of death obvious? Strangulation marks, bones, injured neck.
Nothing is obvious in a situation like this, so a detailed analysis was used both to determine manner and cause of death. I can't go into details on how we made those decisions.
Kristen Thorne.
Yes, hi, Dr. Kristen Thorne with WABC in New York. Could you just please repeat about how long you believe the body was out there? Unfortunately, the last time you spoke, you just didn't get a good film shot of you saying that. Would you mind repeating that?
Our initial determination is the body was in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
Thank you.
Jorge Fitzgibbon. You have to unmute. I believe you're still muted.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Dr. Blue. Relating back to the date of death, is there a date listed on the death certificate?
The death certificate has not been completed at this time.
Of course not.
The death certificates of the state of Wyoming allow for approximate dates and variability in those dates. So I doubt, well, there will not be an exact date of death on the death certificate.
Eileen with News 12.
Hi, doctor. This is Eileen LaPalmer from News 12. We sort of asked it a little bit, but is there a way that you can explain how you know that it was strangulation? Sometimes I know that a hyoid bone could be missing. Is that something that you discovered in this case?
I can't comment on that because it would be a finding of the autopsy. And as I stated before, in the state of Wyoming, the autopsy results are not public knowledge.
So then you can't clarify whether it was manual strangulation or with an item, correct?
That's correct.
What about did she have her clothes on? You know, was she molested, raped, whatever?
Michael Ruiz.
Thanks for making time for us, doctor. Was the entire examination conducted at your lab in Jackson, or was Gabby Petito's body shipped to another facility?
The examination was done entirely at our morgue in Teton County, Wyoming.
So we have the laundry's house on the right.
Gregorio?
Gregorio. It's actually Ashley Banfield with News Nation. Doctor, thank you for taking the time today. Can I ask you if from the very beginning of your process, was it obvious that the cause, not the manner, that the cause was strangulation and that you just needed this time to prove it out? Or were you completely unaware from the beginning what the cause of death was for Gabby Petito and had to resolve through a number of puzzle-solving manners and other experts to arrive at that final cause determination?
In a situation like this, nothing is obvious. And so the cause of death required investigation.
Nothing.
We have a William Walkie.
Hey there, Dr. Blue. My name is Will. I'm from KHOL Jacksonville Community Radio here in Jackson. You're a small town coroner here in Western Wyoming. This case got so much national attention, as we can see right now. Can you speak on what it was like doing your job with such a big spotlight on you? Thanks.
Well, it was quite the media circus and continues to be. Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence. And it's unfortunate that these other deaths do not get as much coverage as this one. I'm assuming that because the deceased was a blogger, that this received more coverage than others. But there are a lot of both men and women who have lost their lives that aren't covered with this kind of media attention.
So he said domestic violence. So he's basically saying Brian got her. He's saying it, guys.
Yes. Hello. This is Francis DiFiore from the Port Charlotte Sun. I just want to go back to my previous question, although I imagine your response. Is there anything you can tell us about how exactly determined it was a 3 to 4 week period before death?
I can't go into that kind of information at this time.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Folks, this is JB Buno on WFLA Now. We're going to go back to the Zoom call here in just a second. We do have an update from the attorney of Brian Laundrie. Stephen Bertolino has issued a statement that's coming up here next.
Question then.
We have the snack squad.
Hey, this is Andy Mercado from Mercado Media. Could you go over the length of time the autopsy report took? And thank you for your time, Dr. Blue.
Well, the length of time was involved in the sense that we received a report from the investigating and examining forensic pathologist. We had a report done by our anthropologist, and we had toxicology studies that were done in addition to the report from the radiologic studies. So all these came together, and that's what took time for us to complete this investigation.
Hi, doctor. Could you speak to the state of decomposition, and did that at all hinder your investigation?
No, I can't comment on that.
Of course not.
Dr. Blue, would you like to take any more questions?
Unless there's other specific questions that haven't been answered already, why don't we close this? And thank you all very much for your participation.
You didn't say much of anything, guys.
I can tell you that I will not be answering any other detailed questions about the autopsy. As I said, state statute prevents us from doing that. So contacting me by email and phone is not going to reveal any additional information. But thank you for your time, and I appreciate your interest.
Dr. Blue, I have one more question.
Uh-oh.
Is there a way to determine if this was accidental or deliberate?
It was deliberate.
You mean in the sense of a homicide?
A homicide's a killing.
Yes.
That would be up to law enforcement to make that determination.
Great, thank you.
It's just... He already
Thank you all very much for your time.
He gave a clue, guys. He gave a clue. Domestic violence. That's what he said. He gave you the answer. Brian Laundrie did it. If this is real or whatever.
Gabby Petito, at just 22 years old, died of strangulation, according to the autopsy conducted by who you just heard from, Dr. Brent Blue of the Teton County Coroner's Office. An answer that tells us how she died. But so many of you here in the comments asking, will there ever be justice for Gabby?
Justice for Gabby.
Hey there, folks. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. That was, of course, I'm sure, hard news for a lot of people to digest. Gabby Petito dying of strangulation, according to this press conference that was called here today, October 12th, 2021 here, 2:30 Eastern Time, 12:30 Mountain. And you just heard from Dr. Brent Blue here, but
I agree with you, Doug. Yeah, these are distractions. Everything happens.
Pieces of information here from Dr. Blue, and I want to start here, Justin, if we can.
Frozen up, buddy.
Oh, you are frozen.
Yes.
Let's get that fixed.
You're frozen. Heat up.
New information to go over.
Yeah,
he's
so
frozen.
let's fix the camera for Justin, and then we can get him back. And now he is back.
There we are.
Okay, so the key piece of information, Justin, 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks. Again, the main headline, the cause of death, according to the Teton County Coroner, is strangulation. Again, they had previously told us her death was a homicide. He again confirmed that today. Again, the coroner says he believes her body was in the wilderness there for 3 to 4 weeks from the time it was found from before when she was killed. He was very tight-lipped on questions about who might have been responsible. JB, we saw a few questions from John Walsh about the person of interest in this case, but again, he said that is up to the law enforcement community to determine who is responsible for her homicide.
Let's get to some of the comments and questions that are coming in here. We have, of course, let you know that you can use hashtag HeyJB, hashtag HeyJustin. We're live across all of our platforms right now, WFLA.com, the WFLA app. WFLA's Facebook page and WFLA's YouTube page as well. Hello to all of our interactive audiences here.
So let's get
to some of the comments and questions that have come in here over the last several minutes, and I want to get right into it. From Kim Brower here, hashtag HeyJB. If the time of death is 3 to 4 weeks, let me explain Kim's comment here, exactly what was said here. So from the body being found, that was September 19th is when the body was discovered there.
Correct.
The remains that, of course, then they would go on to confirm, matched the description, and then was, in fact, Gabby Petito. It was 3 to 4 weeks before that Gabby Petito died of strangulation. And those dates are, so within that 3 to 4 week time window now, that makes it August 22nd to August 29th. But I'm going to bring up here, I'm going to read Kim's comment here, then I'm going to put it away because we're going to get to the timeline here. And I see Walt Buteau is hanging out. And Walt, if you'd like to sit down, you're more than welcome to sit on the mic if you'd like. We're kind of all just kind of processing this news here in the newsroom. Kim Brower, hashtag HJB. If the time of death is 3 to 4 weeks, that means that he killed her right after being separated. Could this be why he came home for a week to get his exit prepared? And this is just one of the different types of comments that we're seeing out there. Kim, but let's put away your comment really quickly.
Jump in real quick on this? I think this more fits into that period of the 27th to the 30th, JB.
Yep.
That is when the FBI has put out a request for information from people who are in the Bridger Teton National Forest, Spread Creek dispersed camping area, the 27th to the 30th. So again, he has that 3 to 4 week window. I'm still honed in on those days, the 27th to the 30th. He was also asked about whether an actual date of death will be put on her death certificate. He said it might just be a date range. They might never know exactly the date it was, JB, but I'm honed in on about 3.5 weeks before the 19th would fall right in that 27th to the 29th of August. Those are the dates I'm most honed in on from this news conference.
I agree, and I think we also have to focus on the 27th is the last day that somebody saw her. This 27th is the last day she texted her mother. And the doctor, the coroner also pointed out, under Wyoming law, he doesn't have to put a date on there. He can put a date range. And again, and by the way, the 27th is also the day that the van was spotted by the video, the woman from Spring Hill, right? So the 27th, again, I agree with Justin. I think that period of time is still there. Obviously, it's possible they can go all the way back to that 4-week range, but I think they kind of do that out of precaution, right? I still think those 3 dates are key.
I want to really quickly show our audience here a live picture from, we'll tap the touchscreen here. We'll go live to outside of the laundry home here. We're just keeping an eye here on the laundry home here to see if there's any neighbors that gather outside. This is now, of course, a story that has led to this day as far as the coroner releasing the cause of death for Gabrielle Petito, and it being that Gabby Petito died of strangulation.
Jimmy, if I could just jump in one more thing, because you did tease this. Our colleague Masa Saidi during that news conference, and I have it right here to read if you don't mind. If I can go ahead, JB?
Absolutely.
So as we take a look at the laundry home, a reminder at this point, the only crime that Brian Laundrie has been charged with is debit card fraud. This is the news statement just into the newsroom, courtesy of our colleague investigator Masa Saidi. It says, quote, from Stephen Bertolino, Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby, Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing. When he is located, we will address the pending fraud charges against him, end quote. That is the news statement, courtesy of Masa Saidi from Stephen Bertolino. What jumped out to me, JB, is that this statement acknowledges that he is accused of fraud using Gabby's card, which the charging document did not say. The family attorney on Dr. Phil did say they believed it was her card. Here is the attorney for the Laundrie family acknowledging that he is charged with unauthorized access to her bank account, which I think is significant.
I'm sure that it's just small compared to the looming charge that could be out there, provided of course, if he is named a suspect, that charge, of course, being, would that charge be murder? Debit card, that charge of use of unauthorized access devices of an amount aggregated to more than $1,000. It's probably really small time compared to, of course, what could be around the corner here. But again, we got to stay rooted in reality because listen, Stephen Bertolino is 100% right. I know that there's a lot of comments here flying up and down our screens here from YouTube and on Facebook right now. As frustrating as it might be for some of our audience joining us here live, right now, Brian Laundrie is still just a person of interest.
But he's wanted for this federal charge, and that obviously changed his status from just a missing person to a wanted fugitive, and that was a significant, another one of the twists, JB.
Well, we've been down that. Well, there you go, guys. Just, it's going to be the same story, same everything. So anyway, there you go. Coroner says Gabby Petito died of strangulation, guys. I kind of said when I first heard the story, if it is what it is, right? I basically said, yeah, they went there. If you watch my old videos on this channel, I've been covering this story. I talked about how, they probably walked down, here inside the mind of a monster. And I talked about how basically they probably parked there having arguments. They probably walked down to where there was a creek. There was a log there. And they were basically saying, listen, you know what? This ain't working. She said she probably wanted to end it. They were all fighting, whatever. Again, this is my speculation, but this is something I said that, basically he snapped. He was sick of it. He jumped on her. She fell to the ground and he strangled her. He got scared. At first he's enraged. Then he goes, okay, what am I going to do now? So he took off. He started walking. This is where people said they seen him hitchhiking. Then he came back. He took the car and took off. And then he came back home, played the front. I think his parents know a lot more than what they're telling. They went camping, whatever, strategic, if he even came back home. And now even the family, the members of the family, the Petito family are saying, well, we don't know when he went now. It's all jacked up. This is something I've said from a long time. Again, if this story is real or whatever, this guy was a loser. He was an artist. He was living at his parents' house. Again, yeah, he's a young guy. I get it. When you're young, you don't have a lot of money. When you're 22, 23, 24, you don't have a lot of money. I'm not saying whatever, but he seemed like a freeloader. Gabby, was smart. She worked, got the van, whatever the case may be. Said, okay, let's make some money together. Let's be a vlogger, YouTubers, whatever. And, when you live with somebody in a van for a week, 2-3 weeks, I don't care. You get, it's stressful going on vacations. I've even talked about how I've been on vacations with some of my girlfriends, and we got in some arguments. I mean, I would never do anything, whatever. But this was something that was going on. She even said he wasn't helping her. He locked her up. He was being abusive and all these things. And, it just kept on and kept on. When the cops said, okay, we got to separate you. He didn't even have enough money for a motel, and all this stuff. And so the police paid for that. I'm sure they were arguing. He needed money. Supposedly, he flew back to Florida because they had a storage unit, supposedly. Again, this is all twists and turns in this story. You can't make this stuff up. Then he flies back. They went to dinner, whatever. He was really argumentative. I guess in the restaurant, the lady said they seen him. He didn't want to pay. He was whatever. And then, I believe they went back. They went to that camping site. He took her out, got nervous, walked, tried to get alibis to say, hey, look, I was hiking down there. How could I have killed her? I left her alone. Then he took off, right? And now this is where we're at. That's my take on the whole thing, guys. I've been studying this stuff from pretty much day one, studying it. I've studied psychology. I looked at the video of the cop, and again, lots of different things. And I know, I know dweeb guys. I talk to a lot of guys that are single and guys that have relationships and stuff like that. And what I seen here, this guy, he couldn't hack it. He didn't want to support her. He was a jealous guy, right? He was controlling. We know that by her friend. Her friend in Florida said the guy was malicious. He took her ID, all these things. He didn't want her to become famous. He didn't want her to excel. And so that's another reason why he didn't want to help. And she started seeing that. And, she, at the end, even the mom said when they got in the domestic dispute where the police were, and they got, the mom said they weren't engaged anymore. They were boyfriend and girlfriend at that time. And they were supposed to meet their friend or something in Yosemite or, I don't know, in the geysers or whatever. I don't know. And, she was like, she probably broke up with him at that time. He snapped. He took her out. Bottom line, that's what I've said from the beginning. Again, if this story's legit, because there's lots of, weirdness, oddities, as they say, and people are all into this story, and it is what it is. Just very sad, but I know how people act. I study behaviorisms and, certain how certain people act, and, he doesn't fall too far from, again, well, he's not even far. He was a little man. He had lots of problems. He was broke, desperate, artist, whatever, trying to get over on this girl, jealous as hell, didn't want her to excel, right? But he wasn't doing anything for his benefit. And I think she basically said, and I think she was scared of him. I think she even was like, well, you know what? It's not working. We're just going to have to go back home and we're going to have to figure it out there. Like, because she probably knew he would have probably did something to her. And that's why there was that weird cryptic message of tell grandfather don't call or this or that. And he snapped. He knew he was going to lose her. When you're in a relationship, when it's over. He knew it was going to be over and he couldn't deal with that. and he always liked her in high school. They dated off and on and all these things. So there you go, guys. And the coroner literally basically said it was domestic violence. They asked him, do you think that Brian killed her? Well, he couldn't say it, but then he said, this is sad that this domestic violence case is everywhere when there's so many others domestic violence. He was telling you, without telling you, because he couldn't, the coroner said that yes, he killed her. This was a domestic violence. They've seen this before, and there it is. That's it. Bottom line. Now they're looking for him. Now it's the clown show. You know, I guess the dog, whatever his name is, got hurt. Right? Dog, the bounty hunter that can't even really be there. And again, the family knows more than what is being said. And it is what it is. You know, again, everything that I've said in this case has been right on point. Again, I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. The police dropped the ball many times. I called that. Even this guy said, well, there's lots of oddities. Well, why couldn't anybody else follow him? You know, it's all BS at the end of the day. So there you go, guys. That's my take on this case. Hey, we'll see what happens. It's very sad. The police dropped the ball. They should have took him to jail. He was the aggressor at the end of all she even said. He locked her out. He pushed her, and she started hitting him back. And many balls dropped and just whatever. Anyway, at the end of the day, there it is. These are distractions as well to what's really going on in the world. Guys, food shortages are coming. The collapse, economic collapse, digital dollars coming. Guys, this is just distractions at the end of the day. It's sad if this is whatever. But this is what they want you. You know, they want you to keep on looking at this story. They want you to look at Captain Kirk, right? Going into space on the Blue Origins, all these things, space crap, all this crap. When we should be looking in who's controlling this world, who's manipulating it, manipulating the media, manipulating the system. That is the truth. These are distractions at the end of the day. Bottom line. And yeah, you know, we got this story and all these other stories, which again, guys, I want to thank everybody for subscribing here at the Trending Stream. Thank you so much. Please subscribe. I did a video last night on The Truth Never Sleeps, the Squid Games, the hidden, messages and all that. Please go out there and check that out as well. But I will be doing live videos here almost every day. This is my new channel. I want to give you guys the raw information, give you a perspective you won't find anywhere else. This was a powerful stream. And again, I thank each and every one of you. At the end of the day, we need to pray for her family. If this is, whatever, and we need to pray for each other. Again, guys, thank you all for coming aboard. I love all you guys. Much love. May you all have a blessed